the Knights of Malta. Holy order founded in 1118 to protect pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land. But when the Turks seized Jerusalem in 1244, the Knights found themselves in a new mission, defending the Mediterranean from Muslim invaders. But who were the Muslims? The Ottoman Empire was a vast and powerful state that stretched from the Middle East to Eastern Europe. And in the 16th century, it began to encroach upon the island of Malta, which was then held by the Knights. So in 1530, the Ottomans launched a massive attack on the island, sending 30,000 soldiers to take it. But the Knights were prepared. They had built up strong fortifications, and they fought with the ferocity of men who knew they were defending their homes. For 77 days, the Ottomans laid siege to the island, bombarding it with cannons and attempting to storm the walls. But the Knights held firm, repelling every attack. Eventually, the Ottomans gave up, and the siege was lifted. But why did the Ottomans lose? To answer that question, we have to look at three factors. First, there was the Knights' superior fortifications. The Knights had built up strong walls around the island that the Ottomans simply couldn't break through. Even though the Ottomans had cannons that could shoot flaming balls, the Knights' walls were too thick for them to penetrate. Second, there was the Knights' fighting prowess. The Knights were fierce fighters, willing to die rather than surrender their island. And even though the Ottomans had more soldiers, the Knights were able to hold them off. Finally, there was the Knights' leadership. The Knights were led by Grand Master Lally, a brilliant military tactician who was able to outmaneuver the Ottoman commanders. So what can we learn from this story? First, we can see the importance of planning ahead. The Knights knew that the Ottomans were a threat, and so they took steps to defend themselves by building up strong fortifications. Second, we can see the importance of courage. The Knights were outnumbered and outgunned, but they were able to hold their ground because they were brave enough to fight to the death rather than surrender. And third, we can see the importance of good leadership. Lally's military genius was key to the Knights' victory. And without his ability to outmaneuver the Ottomans, it's likely that the Knights would have lost. The Ottoman Empire was one of the most powerful states in history, but it was no match for the Knights of Malta.